Hi, BB Promos to tell like it is, guys. Welcome back to another podcast. I'm in a different setting. I'm at my brother's place, so bear with me. Either way, the setup's dope, so I'm good to go. But guys, before we get started, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. A lot of you guys watch the videos but not subscribing, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the post notification so next time I put a video, you're the first to get it. Also, guys, check the description below and hit those links there that will help save your life or change your life for the better. Anyway, let's get into this video, guys. Obviously, I have to chime in on Brandon Harden's latest video. My opinion on Dumber Than Last Time. Greg Doucette and Nick Trigili basically chiming in on his using insulin. And so I've already watched the video before. I've already watched this, and I thought I'd give my 2 cents. And the reason why I want to do this is because, obviously this full disclosure, this video is gonna get views, 100%. I put a video, it's gonna get views. There is controversy or whatever, but I like using these opportunities to help people, to give my 2 cents and my point of view of things. And sometimes people can relate to other people, better. And sometimes people can listen better when it comes from a different person's mouth, even saying the exact same message. But my opinion on this whole thing is this, and you'll hear. So I'm gonna respond as we go. I'm gonna pick up some points that I find that are important, going forward. And for those who are listening and watching, it's more so for you guys, not necessarily for Brandon, because Brandon's already went through this and said that he has taken his time. Like, he's not making impulsive decisions. He's not at the whim, I'm gonna start doing insulin. He said he's talked to his coach. They've they discussed it before. They've talked about it before. So this is something they've thought hard on. Anyway, so let's watch this video and we're gonna comment as we go.
Reaction video to 2 videos that have been made about me over the past week, couple days, pertaining to my supplement use, my stack, and me implementing insulin into my cycle. This food is still consistent, but Greg Doucette and Nick Trigili, who runs a YouTube channel called Bodybuilding and Bullshit, have been giving their opinions on me potentially introducing insulin to my stack. It's kind of a given that 2 experienced guys in the industry, 2 bodybuilders that have been doing this for a very long time, to have a very strong opinion on this topic.
So that point he's making is something you have to be very, very careful about. Just because someone's been doing something for a long time doesn't mean they know what they're doing, right? Now, I'm not saying that Greg and Nick don't know what they're doing at all. I'm not saying that at all. But a lot of viewers out there who watch YouTubers, influencers, whatever, they look at, followers and views and equate that to knowledge. And that is completely false. So it doesn't mean, just because you've done something a long time, doesn't mean you're an expert at it. Let's go.
While I'm doing everything right now is to keep me as healthy as possible, would decide to do something like this. I've been very, guilty at saying this. Doing this as healthy as possible. Saying doing bodybuilding as healthy as possible is legitimate an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp, literally. Doing bodybuilding as healthy as possible is impossible, right? So you have to change the verbiage. You have to change the language around and say it, and just say it as is. I'm taking this sport that has a lot of risk, and whatever happens in those risks, I am responsible for anything that happens in the process. We have to stop saying, I'm doing this as healthy as possible. Bodybuilding isn't healthy, period. In the flip side, but for the first time, I understand that if I actually want to be someone in this industry and compete on a big stage one day, it was a necessary step. So I hope you understand.
It's not. It's not at all. It's not. It's actually not. So, and I'm saying this with experience. I get what he's saying. I think he has this in his head that you have to put this out there to be a good bodybuilder or to be successful as a pro bodybuilder on stage. Let me just say something right now. He's already successful. And I've thought this before with Chris Bumstead, Regan Grimes. They already have this absolutely amazing. Now, Chris Bumstead and Regan Grimes built their whole channel and their fame on bodybuilding, 100%. But they're successful now. They don't even need it. They do not need bodybuilding to be successful as successful bodybuilders. Brandon thinks he has to do this, document, this part and whatever, in order to be successful on that big stage in the bodybuilding industry. And you don't, because he already has an absolutely amazing platform that he built without bodybuilding before that. So everybody that he already has right now and that's following him, and the buzz from him doing whatever he's doing anyway, will continue to have him successful. Let's keep going.
Now we're going to react to Greg's video first. It is the Brandon Harding, is he dumber than...
That's like,
Coach Greg and Brandon.
what you wearing, Greg? What's Greg wearing?
And are his expectations within reason? Well, I'm going to start by saying not even close. This is redonkulous.
I feel like the way Greg just explained that was that I believe that insulin is the secret and what will turn me from what I am now into what I really want to be. And I don't obviously believe that. I mean, I've taken a vast array of different things, not a massive amount of things, pretty much just the basic.
Because, you know, and I will only speak from experience. I have used insulin. My first season, actually, my first year competing, I did my first show basically on my own. And then my prep for nationals, I was getting coached by a coach, and he had on my plan insulin. And I'm just like, all right, I guess I got to use insulin. Like everybody else, I went through the same shit everybody else did. Like as an amateur, I went through, you know, being had by thinking that, you know, an IFBB pro knew what they were talking about. I went through that shit. Anyway, so my first time taking it, you know, it told me what I should do, this and that, and the other. There's a good thing I knew about insulin. I did a lot of research, and I was actually coaching a doctor at the time. And I remember the doctor saying to me, he was like, Johnny, if you want to kill somebody without anybody knowing, just give them insulin. And I was like, oh, okay. And I still did it. Here's a quick story about that. The first time I did it, I did everything I was supposed to do. Second time I did it, some reason I was like, you know, I was playing video games, and I'm like, you know, I did my shot, had my stuff, yada, yada, yada. I ate all my carbs, and then I'm just playing a video game, and then, you know, and all of a sudden I blinked and it felt like a flash. Like I was like, what the heck? And then I was like slow motion, everything. Luckily, I lived on top of a convenience store. I literally had to walk outside, and I was walking down the stairs like, it felt like that. Went to the freaking grocery store, like basically was like, oh, get out of the way, and went right to the freaking cupboard, grabbed the Coca-Cola, chocolate bar, was just doing like drinking that and eating a chocolate bar. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I had to eat sugar of some sort, right? And then I came to, like, you know, my body slowly came back. I was going into literally a shock. And I was like, F this stuff. This is even worse. This is stupid. And I was like, that was it. And then, you know, years later, I was getting coached by Matt Jansen, and I brought up like, hey, you know, what do you think about doing blah, blah, blah? And he's like, you know, he didn't prescribe it at all. He was like, you know, I don't think it's really that good. I don't think it does this and that and the other. I was like, but we can do it. If you're going to do it, we can do X, Y, Z. And I did like 5 to 7 IUs of Humalog, literally. And even that, and I'm talking with the right amount of carbs, like the right amount of sugars, this and that and the other, I still would get, I was still like, I would go into it. So like, for me, it wasn't worth it. I'm like, why am I doing this? And I was at some point scared, because I remember being at home alone at one point, and then like, I was painting, and I was like, what the heck? And then I just, oh my, and I wasn't paying because of fumes. I was literally from the Humulin. I was from the insulin. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm done doing this. The risk reward is not, it's not worth it. For me, Brandon, the risk is nowhere near, like, there's no point. Like, the reward is nowhere near it. Like, the risk reward, there's no point. I don't think you need to do it, Brandon, but it's your choice, and I understand that. Just be safe with it. That's all I gotta say.
Insulin is one of the most dangerous
100%.
substances you could take in all of bodybuilding.
For sure.
You can quite literally die from one small mistake.
That is very true. Insulin is the one substance, like if you were to just like measure out your test wrong, let's just say you accidentally took double or triple your amount, you're gonna probably feel like shit, but you may not even notice it that much. Like internally, your body may suffer because your blood levels will spike exponentially.
Very true. I'm not gonna take from that at all. But again, the risk is not greater than the reward. Period. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say on that part. Let's go a little fast forward to this.
If it was really that good, wouldn't all of us be using it? Wouldn't all bodybuilders be taking insulin if it was that great?
So I want to say this, number one. Bodybuilders aren't smart. So I'm not saying all bodybuilders are smart. I'm just telling you this. Just because
Like Greg's like, if it was that good, every bodybuilder would take it. Well, the majority of bodybuilders are using insulin, but that does not mean that they're doing the right thing or the optimal thing. They're all, for the vast majority of people who are taking insulin still think that literally, if they take insulin, it's gonna help shuttle all of these calories and carbs into the muscles, and all of a sudden you get, that's what the majority of bodybuilders think. That's why a majority of bodybuilders use insulin. It does not build that as much muscle as you think it builds at all. I'm gonna say it's a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, I guess I would be deterring people from bodybuilding in a sense. I'm not trying to deter people from bodybuilding. I just want people to understand that there is an absolutely ridiculous risk in the entire sport, as is using insulin or not using insulin. And you really have to look at, you know, the risk over the reward. Like literally, you gotta be like, all right, cool. I really wanna achieve this goal, and is it worth this many potential years of my life? And that's literally what it is. Honestly, that's what it is. That's, you know, you can't really, you know, say like exactly how many years, but you're burning years off your life when you're doing that, period. For a guy like Brandon, I get it. He wants to chase his goal. He's probably got this taste in his mouth, like, I gotta at least get this pro card and then call it a day. Even for me not being a step on stage and doing the 212, I still in my mouth, I'm like, I just gotta get on a stage and just take the risk. Why not? Why not, man? Why not just do it and just one more time? But I can't do one more time like that. I am gonna compete, and I'm gonna compete as a natural. Whether you guys want to say, oh, you're not natural, you took drugs before. I don't really give a shit what you say. I'm not gonna do steroids anymore, period. Unless my doctor tells me you need to do steroids in order to live an optimal, healthy, mentally healthy life, I'm not taking anything, period. I'm done. Like these last 3 days have shown me how much I don't want to miss out on any of this shit. And for the most part, a lot of bodybuilders don't have kids or have that extended family yet, or you know, that family that they've created yet to be able to weigh things out, because you take my daughter and put on anything that's gonna weigh everything down. And there's nothing that can outweigh the importance of me being in her life and hers and mine. Let's just continue with this.
Think of it. It's cheap. You can buy it over the counter. It can kill you.
Yeah, I mean, insulin is cheap as heck. You can go to the store and buy it, then you don't have to, like, you literally don't even have to have a prescription to get it, which is ridiculous to me. And can't you just go to the store, be like, hey, you got any human iron? They'll be like, yes, what is, and they won't ask, because they're not allowed to ask you what it's for. Because I feel like if they deny somebody who actually needs it, they'll get in trouble, so they have to give it to you, which is not safe. So we have to be very careful on how we say and do things and how we deliver things on what we're actually doing. We have to be very careful how transparent we are about our lives. That's why I decided not to do steroids anymore, period. Like, I can't tell you don't do anything and be like, yeah, but I'm taking stuff myself anyway. But don't do it. Don't do what I do. Just do what I say. It doesn't work. Listen, you don't have to do all of this to get to where you want to get to. You don't. You don't. I remember Ron Love telling me the first time I talked to an actual bodybuilder, he was like, I asked him for advice, and he was like, all you really need is a little bit of this and a lot of hard work. I knew exactly what he meant. He meant all you need is a little bit of the drugs, not a lot. You could just a little bit of the drugs, but work your ass off. And I took that to heart for the first, I would say 70% of my career. And then when I became a pro, I was like, hey, well, when I wanted to win a pro card, I was like, hey man, screw this. I'm taking the pro card. And then I'm like, hey, I'm a pro, gotta get on the level with these guys. Right? There's a risk to this. There is a risk, 100% risk. You have to know that. It might not be the best analogy ever, but you get the point.
If you can't turn pro without insulin, do you really think you're going to be an amazing IFBB pro?
Average Joe Schmo who says, I'm going to take insulin now to become a pro, isn't going to be a good pro when they're there. Those who are genetically gifted that take whatever they take then are still going to be good when they get the pros regardless. So it doesn't matter if you take as a pro or not, you're going to be good regardless. You have good genetics, right? So let's keep going.
That would be like saying to someone, bro, you have shit genetics, just don't go to the gym. That's where I can't agree with what he just said, because that is disheartening everyone that doesn't have the most premium genetics in the world, because I don't believe that I have the best genetics in the world. I do have good genetics, but they're not like Chris Bumstead genetics. They're not like Keon genetics. They are just above average genetics.
So Brandon might have, Brandon, I'm talking you straight to your face. I think you have a little bit of a, maybe you're mixing humility with insecurity, or you're around a lot of guys that are absolutely amazing, and you think because you're not as amazing, you're not, and that's what, I'm gonna say it's just that. And I'm gonna say this as an example. For myself, I never thought my genetics were that really good at all, because everyone I hung around with from my young age, most of my friends end up playing in the NFL, the NHL, like I'm talking, these are pro athletes. So for me, I was like, well, I don't think I'm as good as that, but it's because my surroundings were people who were freaking amazing. Let's look who Brandon hangs out with. Brandon for a bit was hanging out with the freaking Pure Muscle and Fitness. Here's around Quentin, Antoine, Regan, Dorian, like the entire Pure Muscle Fitness family there. Of course he's gonna think he doesn't have that great of genetics. Are you kidding me? Brandon, you have great genetics. You have absolutely great genetics. Your analogy isn't that good because you yourself are a genetically gifted phenom. Just because you're with a bunch of people, just because your circle's amazing, doesn't mean you're not amazing. But again, when it's a goal, when it's one of those like goals you have to set yourself out to, I get it. I understand totally and completely. I get it. But I'm just saying, I'm just speaking from my heart. I'm speaking to you, Brandon. I don't think you need any of this shit. I don't think you need to do it all. I think you honestly, you can hang it right up and people still, I think you have in your mind that people care if you're a bodybuilder. I don't think people really give a shit if you bodybuild. I think people who follow you right now follow you because they like you, right?
Right now, I'm 24 years old. I don't want to be someone that's 30, 31, 32, still taking a bunch of drugs, intoxicating my body with all these things when I'm older, when my body is less able to heal itself and reproduce cells, reproduce new tissue. Obviously, if I damage my body now, it's going to heal faster than if I take the same amount of things when I'm 40 years old.
Okay, so I know it cut a little bit off, but that's one of the parts I remember I was like, you got to make a point in that. Brandon, no, okay, no, right? What you do right now will affect you down the road. Understand that. I snowboarded, a coach, you know what I mean? I've played sports at a young age, you know. Yeah, if you get hurt at a young age, you heal faster, right? If I break my arm at 14 years old, shit just comes right back. You know, injuries are easy to pop back from when you're young. We're talking about putting in foreign bodies into your body that affect you from the inside. You don't have to, like, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people think is that, yo, man, I'm gonna heal up when I'm younger. We're good to go. If I do this when I'm doing it now, I'm good because I can just stop and I'll have the rest of my life to look over. No, it doesn't work like that, Brad, at all. It does not work like that. Get that out of your head. Get that out of your head. You can do all the damage in the world to your body right now. I'm not saying that what you're gonna do is gonna do that, but for you to think that, hey, I'm gonna do this right now until I'm 30, then I'm done, you know, I'm 30, I'm done. No, man, listen, you're talking to a, you know, how am I trying to say this? You're talking to a former addict, right? You're talking to a former addict. I've already damaged myself already from drug use. And I did all of that in my early 20s. I did all of that shit, right? What we do now will affect us for the rest of our lives. Let's just say, Brandon, you're a car, right? Brand new car. You're not an old car. You're not like a classic. You're a brand new Mustang. And you decide to kind of treat it like, you know, you want to beat it up a bit. You want to put it through the ringer, run it through the track over and over and over and over again. How long do you think that car is going to last? I know some guys who've sold, I can guarantee you somebody who's watched this video right now is like, yo, man, I've had a 75 whatever car and it still runs like a beauty because they didn't beat the shit out of it when they got it. They took care of that thing and that thing still runs just like it did when they first bought it. If I can go back and be your age right now, I wouldn't be bodybuilding. Hindsight, I would be like, I wouldn't say I would erase all the things you've done. What you've done and accomplished on the stage and as a businessman is absolutely amazing. You can cut your bodybuilding career off right now and still be an absolute dominant businessman and business mogul. There needs to be more guys like Brandon, Regan Grimes, Chris Bumstead, who are these young entrepreneurs that are killing it, showing the rest of the world and kids that they can do the same thing, or at least strive to do that without having to put themselves and their lives in danger by striving to do this thing on stage. I'm telling everybody not to bodybuild. I'm saying the risk is there. That's all I'm saying.
And I could tell that he cared. Like, it is very clear, like Greg literally just wants the best for me. And I do appreciate him making this video. He's very experienced and he actually said in the video, he's actually tried insulin before. I don't want to say like he's kind of hypocritical by like saying to not do it and to never do it and stay away from it, because it is something he experimented with before. Because him, like myself, have dreams and you want to experiment, try different things, see what's going to work. He's lived in my shoes before and I am just learning and stepping in those shoes myself. So now we're going to go on to Nick.
So, and it's cool that, you know, Brandon gave Greg that, you know, that thanks and appreciation. It's not hypocritical at all for someone to say, don't do or make the mistakes that I've made. It's very hypocritical if you're like, hey man, don't do insulin. It's dumb, it don't work, and he's still taking insulin. That's hypocritical. Now we're gonna go on to Nick.
Terrible idea to use insulin, Brandon Harding.
I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet. Brandon put this video out, which was very confusing to me because he just got done putting a video out saying that he's taking his off-season slow, he's not implementing a lot of PEDs. I got a lot of flack and pushback for criticizing his 200 milligrams of PEDs that he's on, supposedly.
It's funny that he still says supposedly.
So it's all about the delivery and whatnot. And I know part of the video is he's talking about, Nick saying, you know, supposedly this and that. Nick's a buddy of mine, so I know Nick, you know, and Nick, and it's funny because Nick and Greg are both, but Greg's a very close friend of mine, Nick's a buddy of mine. And they both deliver things that, you know, you either love them or you hate him. And I respect people like that. I respect people who will hold their own and be either hot or cold. If you're wishy-washy in the middle, look, it's one of the favorite prescriptions in the Bible. You're either hot or you're cold. If you're either hot or you're cold, if you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out of my mouth. Like, spit is lukewarm. Spit is, I can actually spit, I can make it, it's not spit, but spit is lukewarm. I want to be hot or cold. I want you guys to know. I remember when I first started my channel, and even Greg said, you got to make sure that you got to draw a line in the sand. You got to let people know who you are. You can't be this wishy-washy person who agrees with this person, agrees with this person, whatever else. You have to be able to put yourself out there and be who you are regardless of what people say about you. So that's why I respect Greg and Nick, because they do their thing. But when it comes to Nick, and certain things that he does, I don't agree with, like, you know, because I've had happen to me. I've had people say, you know, there's no way you're doing this, or supposedly he's actually doing this. And it's annoying because you sit there and you literally put out transparency. I've told people I've been a drug addict. I told people certain things. I've been very vulnerable in my life. And then you'd be like, you think I'm lying about steroids? Are you fucking stupid? Get out of here. If you don't want to believe me, beat it. But I can definitely emphasize that I can definitely, you know, share the annoyance when you're putting yourself out there and you're trying to do your best to help people out by being so vulnerable and transparent, and then someone's gonna be like, he's lying. If there's anything I hate the most, is being called a liar. And that's something my dad really, like, my dad would be like, don't you call me a liar. Because I would be like, yo, my dad don't lie. He's not trying to, I ain't calling him a liar. Like, because I'm the same way. I cannot stand being called a liar. Now, I'm not going to put any energy out and waste my time addressing people about it. Heck no, because I'm not going to give you that time. But I get what you're saying about that. I can totally be on board with that. and just totally relate to how annoying it is when people, because someone like Nick, who has a very influential voice. Nick is influential. You look at his damn channel, the dude's putting in work. The guy's a juggernaut. He is a workhorse. He's putting out 2-3 videos a day. That guy's gonna have 100,000 subs very, very soon. He's gonna blow up again. He's already done it. So for someone like him to say that, it makes people say the same. I can definitely go to his channel right now and look through all of his, when he says something, I go on his channel and look through his comments, and his comments will be like, yeah, Brandon's a liar. Ain't no way he's doing that much. Yeah, liar. No way, because again, we have influence. And I believe that I can't speak for anyone else. I have an obligation to either speak the truth or not fucking speak at all. Period. Anyway, so I thought I'd bring that up, guys. I thought I'd just chime in there. Brandon, again, I don't think you need insulin, but it's your life. Do what you know. Do what you want to do. It's your life. You know what I mean? Just be safe. Know that you know the risks. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you that at all. You know the risks. You know the rewards. You know all that. I don't have to reiterate that at all. But my opinion, I don't think you need it to be successful in your career on stage. Apart from that, I don't think you really need to even be on stage, to be honest. I think you're a good enough looking dude. If I was jonni.shreve with your physique or your height, I'd be knocking on GQ doors and mainstream modeling and stuff like that, where the stage pays real money. You know what I'm saying? The only thing a stage will reward you of is your perceived achievements. And that might be all that matters. And that's literally, that's all really that matters to us in the end, is what we want to achieve. And that's your goal, so I'm not gonna touch that. But again, my opinion, you don't need it. I think you had a good enough career right now. If you wanna do it, go ahead and do it. But I think you're gonna be successful without it regardless. Hope you liked the video, guys. If you did, man, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Come out that tell like it is. Transparent, vulnerable truth. And guys, I'm putting out some free videos, some very direct videos that'll help you in your goals, in your fitness goals. But the only way you get these videos is if you sign up to my email list. So make sure you guys do. Again, guys, for coaching, jonni.shreve.com. If you want to know my coaching, book a phone consult, 15, 30 minutes after the consult. If you want to go to coaching, whether it's a one-time plan or a recurring plan, I deduct a phone consult of any package you pick. Remember, guys, after the first week of January, my prices will increase. Those who have signed up right now and who have previously signed up before will have their price always grandfathered forever, so you don't have to worry about their prices ever changing. So get on board right now before it changes. A lot of great things happen in the new year with coaching, that I can help a lot more people and do a lot more and put out the best content I can put out. And you guys, make sure you guys hit the rest of the descriptions there. HLT supplements, use those codes. Every time you use a code, that link, this channel gets paid to help support the channel. So I appreciate it, guys. All the other ones too. Let's Get Checked, Fit Army, The Works, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, guys. Send me your progress pics, your foodie pics, and your training clips, and I'll repost it for you. So you know how it is. Iron Champ is iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.